Oogoo is great stuff. I'm going to show you how to mix it using an auger made with a 3D printer. Here's our stuff. You can see the auger, you can see the goo, and let's get started. First we're going to sift the cornstarch that we'll mix to make the Oogoo. This is a good step because it makes it easy to start with a nice smooth mixture. Now we're going to put the auger together. We put the mixing plates on each side of the auger. See the auger action. Now we'll put the other mixing plate on, and then we'll assemble the whole unit. Here we have the plates in place. We set them into the case, and we snap them down. And again, we'll take a look at the auger and see how it will work. See that as it turns, it'll push the stuff right through those plates. Snap the top part of the case on after we dust it off a bit. And we're ready to mix. The Oogoo will be unblended Oogoo gets pushed in through the hole, comes out through the plates after we twist the auger to cause the mixing to take place. Line up the largest opening in your auger and mark on the back where the position of the auger is so that you can always come back to that as you're mixing the Oogoo. With a little mixing stick, we'll put the Oogoo into the molds that we've made ahead of time, also with the 3D printer. We've made a mark on them so it's easy to align them, and we'll just squeeze them together. Put together the Oogoo feeder. There's a transparent piece of tubing that goes on and fits into the bottom plate of the feeder. The plunger will push the Oogoo through, and we have a short length of tubing that will couple the feeder and the auger itself together. We fit the tubing into place, but it won't be glued because we'll need to be able to take it apart to clean it. This is how the unit fits together. We'll use the plunger to push the Oogoo in. Let's get started. Let's squirt some silicone into the feeder. About a tablespoon is what I usually put in. And I've kind of figured out how full a tablespoon will make the tube. Get a good heaping teaspoon, which is, by the time you put a couple of those in, it's close to a tablespoon, a little bit less than a tablespoon, which is the amount that seems to work well for mixing. I'm going to use some gouache watercolor paint to color this. This worked well in my experiments. And I stir things up just a little bit. It's easy to mix this stuff just to get it somewhat mixed before we start injecting it. There's no need to spend a lot of time or make any effort to get it uniform or well mixed at this point. Here we go, ready to put the plunger on, put the two pieces together, and start forcing the Oogoo into the body of the auger. You can watch it flow a little bit through the translucent tube. Once you push some in, give it a twist. This is something that you'll gain a feel for as you work with the Oogoo. Twist it back to its reference position so that you know there's room to inject more Oogoo, more of the unmixed stuff. a little bloop out from the tube, not a big deal. You twist and we see it starting to come through already. Let's push some more in. I'm showing you these fumbles so that you get some idea that the process is very tolerant to this. Don't panic if it happens to you. Push some glue in. Few more twists. Sometimes it's easier to take the body off and just turn the auger by hand. Line up the mark. Push some more in. Give it a few twists. And what you see coming out here is very uniform, very well mixed, very smooth Oogoo. Once you get about enough, grab your stir stick, get rid of old junk, scoop up the Oogoo, and work it into the mold. Take a little time to push it in. This just gets rid of any air pockets. Make sure you get a good casting with your Oogoo. Notice that the Oogoo is still very soft, very easy to work because we didn't spend hardly any time mixing it. That happened very quickly with the auger. Finally, put the two pieces of the cast together, lining up the marks that we made ahead of time. Press it into place, line up the marks again. Clean off some of the excess Oogoo, give it another squeeze, and set it aside. We're done casting, and now we'll clean up, pull the auger apart. You can see how the Oogoo again was being pushed through the auger as we turned it. Clean up the auger, clean up the pieces with a paper towel. You don't have to be real thorough, just get rid of the big chunks. Clean up the mixing box, similar way in the case. Wipe off the small pieces. This shows cleanup after the Oogoo is dried. You can see that it rolls easily off the PLA plastic. We'll use the dental tool there to clean out small holes on one of the mixing plates, so you can see how easy that is. Cleanup is quite easy. It takes a bit of time, but it's very easy to do, and you're all ready to go. You can see these little chunks that are in the holes there. Pull right out. Your cleanup is quite quick and easy. Not as quick as it might be, but it's quite easy for it. And it's very satisfactory. Now cleaned up, it's ready to go again. Here we are with our cast. We pull the mold apart, and we find our little piece inside. This was from an earlier one that I did. Pull that piece out, and you can see the little skirt that's left at the parting line. We'll trim this off with a pair of tweezers or a pair of scissors, clean it up, and we'll have a nice little part. And that's the Oogoo mixing process. Much easier than trying to get a thorough mix with by hand in a jar. This was very easy and very thorough mix.